Hello, my name's Andy Seathern, the Senior Instructor of Combat Fusion Martial Arts. Well, welcome once again to another one of our InfoPod videos on techniques of the Kenpo Orange Belt syllabus. And today we're going to be looking at Scraping Hoof. Now, Scraping Hoof's attack is a wrestling hold known as a full Nelson. We will be going into detail on this hold so you get an idea of what your opponent is trying to do to you. In the attack to Scraping Hoof, as your opponent is attempting to put the full Nelson hold on, you are able to restrain him so he doesn't actually complete the hold. But as you are restraining him, your arms are occupied. This means you have to use the lower half of your body for your defensive tactics. So we will take a look at the technique without the partner from a front view, a side view, and a rear view, as this is a rear attack. We'll then go on to break it down and look at some variations at the end. The attack in the technique Scraping Hoof is known as a full Nelson. This wrestling hold is formed by the threading of the holder's arms under the arms of their opponent, then linking their hands behind the nape of the opponent's neck. Historically, this hold is believed to be named after the British war hero Vice Admiral Horatio Nelson, whose battle tactics resulted in the surrounding of his opponents, thereby restricting their ability to manoeuvre. In response to the attempted full Nelson hold, we are able to prevent its full application. Initially draw our feet together, straightening our knees, whilst simultaneously thrusting both fists towards the floor and straightening our body as our upper arms squeeze into our sides, restricting the movement of our opponent's arms, thereby hindering the completion of the hold. This is further compounded by the slight arching back of our body to deliver a rear headbutt to our opponent's face. Whilst our opponent is occupied following this initial counter, we now employ reverse marriage of gravity by bending the knee of our supporting leg as we deliver a rear crossing back heel kick to the inside of our opponent's knee. The commonly practiced follow-up move from this heel kick is to deliver a knife edge kick to the inside of our opponent's other knee, then scrape down the shin, placing our foot on the floor beside our opponent's foot. Obviously, this has little damaging effect. That is because this is a safety consideration to prevent injury to our training partner. In reality, following the rear crossing back heel kick, we deliver the knife edge kick to our opponent's inner knee joint, causing his foot to roll, which in turn places his ankle joint in a precarious position. From here, we deliver a side stomp to the ankle joint. The heel kick causes a reaction from our opponent that may be major or it may be minor, but it will shift his body weight onto his other leg, which now supports his structure. This in turn makes that leg hard for him to move, but easy for us to buckle. This may also result in an early exit from this technique. The action of the rear crossing back heel kick is reminiscent of a horse scraping with its hoof. Where the horse scrapes the floor with its hoof, we scrape down our opponent's shin with our hoof, hence the name Scraping Hoof. At this point, if you are not moving onto the extension, some schools of Kenpo execute the same move again with the opposite foot. At this point, we will move on to the extension to Scraping Hoof. If you do not require this information at your stage in training, you may wish to bypass the next section. After the scraping down of our opponent's shin and the planting of the foot or hoof to the floor, drive the scraping foot back into a reverse bow, thereby buckling and sweeping your opponent's leg. This places your opponent's weight onto his unswept leg, making it once again hard to move whilst again supporting his structure. From here, move into a front crossover, stepping out into a neutral bow, having your knee impact your opponent's inner knee in the process. This causes your opponent to fall onto his back with his feet towards you. At this moment in time, your opponent is once again occupied with his own fate. take this opportunity to move between his legs by executing a rear crossover to finally deliver a rear stomp to his groin. Should you find your movement restricted, you may convert the rear crossover to a simple drag step into the same rear stomp kick to his groin. From the rear kick to the groin, front crossover and cover out. Welcome back. So now we'll look at the first variation. This one is a simple little move. Instead of doing the front crossover to take our opponent to the floor, we just employ a simple little step, place our foot behind our opponent's ankle, locking it in place, and use our knee bend to buckle the knee and take our opponent to the floor. Okay, so let's move on to our second variation. In this one, we are employing the front crossover as per the extension, but instead of just using it as a way of gaining distance to create a buckle, we're going to employ the first movement of the front crossover as an insteps kick to our opponent's inner knee. This will start the buckle and allow us to step through into a neutral bow and use our knee to finish the buckle off. Or, if our opponent falls to the ground early, we may decide to continue using the instep kick, but convert it into a front crossover stomp to our opponent's knee. Okay, let's move on to our third and final variation. In this one, our opponent feels he's being restricted and converts his grab into a bear hug from a full Nelson. We have to then change our outlook on the technique and convert it to one of our bear hug techniques. And these two examples, I'm showing spiraling twig and crashing wings. Now you'll see from the position of our opponent's grab, it depends on which technique I choose. If he grabs high, I'm going to use spiraling twig. If he grabs low, like he's trying to pick my center of gravity up, I'm going to go into crashing wings. So let's have a look at these two variations and compare them together. Well, thank you very much for joining us here at Combat Fusion Martial Arts for another one of our videos on Kenpo techniques. I hope you find these videos of use. Don't forget, if you have any questions or comments, put them down in the comments section. It's always good to read them, and it's always good to give our feedback to your questions. If you haven't shared these videos, please do, and hit that notification bell. And also, if you haven't done it yet, please think of subscribing to our channel. So, this is Andy Seathern saying goodbye.